Now, in terms of the security of Bitcoin, I mean, I find the other thing as a newcomer to this space sort of shocked that that whole rap that you just gave never mentions the fact that that dude lost $127 million of Bitcoin because he left it in his car. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, but that's like saying
Bitcoin is as secure as gold.
no, but that's like saying I always think of the security of an asset as the further away from the spigot, the less secure it becomes. So I'll use dollars as an example, then I'll use Bitcoin. So the dollars that are created, Treasury, Federal Reserve, like the Treasury's never been infiltrated, hacked, robbed, anything like that. Now, when the dollars leave and they go in a physical truck and they're driven somewhere, there's plenty of armored trucks that have been robbed. When it sits in a bank, there's plenty of banks that have been robbed, right? And then if you have the dollars in your wallet or your pocket and you walk down the street and someone hits you over the head with a wrench, they take the money from you as well. So the further you get away from kind of the creation point of the currency, the less secure it becomes. So that's dollars. With Bitcoin, same thing. The Bitcoin blockchain, where the actual Bitcoin is held in terms of this public ledger, that is not ever been hacked before. Now, if you go and you put your Bitcoin on a physical hardware wallet and then you leave the hardware wallet on the counter at McDonald's, right, or you leave it in your car and someone robs your car, then yes, of course. But that's the same thing as if you left the $5, sitting in your cup holder and you left your car unlocked, right? So the further you get away.
On that. Let me pause on that one. Because if I lose my, because of course the big case for Bitcoin and other, digital assets is that they are more secure, for example, than having your money in a bank. Mm-hmm. But the only example that you have is Cyprus, and I'll let you get to that because I interrupted. But the other example is the credit card. Well, I mean, if I leave my credit card at the supermarket or at the airport, and of course I've done that many times, as most of us have, and somebody picks it up, this has actually never happened, but if somebody picks it up and they start spending on it, the credit card company will actually, at this point, I believe, they do not hold me accountable for it, especially if I call right away and I'm like, I lost my credit card. They're like, they put an end to it, whatever. That's a much more secure digital asset. So in that case, given that like a credit card versus a hard drive with Bitcoin or some other digital asset on it, clearly the credit card is more secure.
But it's
and
not.
And then you're left with Cyprus.
But it's not, because the credit card's not an asset, right? The credit card is you're spending someone else's money and they're just saying you don't have to pay us back. But it's not actually more secure. Whereas with Bitcoin,
the bank account.
Yeah. So with Bitcoin, if let's say I put it on a hardware wallet and I leave it in my car and you take the hardware wallet, you have the hardware wallet, but you don't have my Bitcoin because you still need the private key, right? And if I just have the private key in my head, then I still own that Bitcoin. Unless you have the private key, you don't have the Bitcoin.
Yeah.